Any search or seizure requires a warrant for it to be legal. However, that protection only exists on paper these days. Ever since we used the Patriot Act to surrender our freedom for security, the internet is no longer safe. The Senate has voted to allow the FBI to look at your browser history without a warrant. I am not the most technologically literate person, but even I know that deleting your browser history is not enough, as that data can still be obtained. This is the same federal government that is using drones to follow you around as a result of the China virus. Democrats want mail-in votes for the same reason that they do not want voter ID. Having a physical location and proving your identity makes it harder for them to cheat. They created the Russia scandal out of nothing and then wiretapped then-candidate Trump. Despite all of the Democrats meddling, they could not win. Back to voter IDs. You need a state-issued ID too. Liberals do not attack any of these. A little bit of information that you willingly gave them from the census and your vote might be dumped in the trash. At least voter fraud would not massively affect an election by 250,000 votes because every single mail-in ballot supported a Democrat. Oh wait! What's this? I do not care if it is 2 rogue Cincinnati agents that are messing up the votes. If we are safe enough from the China virus to go into Walmart, we are safe enough to go to a polling place. If you do not want to get out, it is your body and your choice. Everyone who supported slavery was not himself a slave. Everyone who supports abortion was not himself aborted. It seems that everyone who is saying that the draconian shutdown should continue does have a job, or will just want the government to magically give them money. Or in Nancy Pelosi's case, amnesty so that illegals can come in and get more welfare at no cost to them. Now that so many people are unemployed, many liberal networks are starting to sing a slightly different tune. While the Nasdaq may very well cause things to turn around in the long run, if we keep on like this until there is a cure, the unemployment rate will skyrocket. The Times pointed out that this put more people into extreme poverty, and thus a higher mortality rate. Furthermore, the Washington Post reported that it is affecting poorer nations more. If only conservatives and economists had been warning about this for months. The models and predictions were wrong virtually every single time. We destroyed our economy over this insignificant virus. Now Colorado is having to take deaths caused by the China virus off of the official lists. Imagine that! The doctors and hospitals might have called something that it was not just to get federal money. One instance even had a man that died from alcohol poisoning as having died from the virus. Their families deserve to know the truth. California, Texas, Florida, and New York have the densest populations. The Republican states, because they prepared in advance rather than demanding Washington fix the problem, have had fewer deaths. The problem with California and New York is that not only did they plan terribly, they will also get more money and possibly get pulled out from the hole that they have dug. China has previously threatened economic consequences for Australia if they proceed with an independent investigation in regards to the origins of the China virus. However, Australia has since been joined by 62 other nations, and 120 of the 193 nations in the UN have signed a resolution to get some answers. Will these nations be able to have an impact? Their chances are certainly much better. If any nation released a biological weapon, regardless of its severity, said nation must be investigated. Just in time, China has admitted to having the virus samples destroyed. We know that China silenced any whistleblower who dared to try and spill the beans. Officially, the virus was destroyed to prevent another outbreak. However, something tells me they were cleaning up the evidence. Elon Musk is one of many business owners that are defying the draconian lockdown orders. Despite California health officials demanding that businesses remain closed, he cares more about his workers not having food than the army of bureaucrats and lawyers that stood in his way. Civil disobedience truly is an amazing thing. However, not everyone is excited that businesses are reopening. While the fake news is singing a slightly different tune, they still want us to remain fearful. CNN decided that they need to bring the greatest medical minds of the time on the air to talk about this. So instead of getting someone with a medical degree like Rand Paul, Ron Paul, or any other conservative doctor that is saying that we are going too far, they decided to bring in the most reliable scientist on Earth, Greta Thunberg. Yep, they honestly had no one better than a high school dropout that offered no solutions to the problems she described and lives like a queen. I am surprised that Thunberg is not egging this virus on. Michael Moore already explained that we need to lower the population to stop climate change. It seems very counterintuitive to me. Somehow, one of the biggest companies in the country got $80 million in relief money that was supposed to go to small businesses. Since Trump forbade them from getting the money and their business of killing children could not be interrupted, they had to get this money. Not only do they want the free taxpayer money, they see the writing on the wall of what is to come. How Planned Parenthood offered any care during the pandemic is a question all to itself. However, the Small Business Administration has stated that there will be civil and criminal consequences if they do not repay it. Meanwhile, President Trump advertised something that would actually do good. He used a drug that has been on the market and that has been prescribed by doctors for a while. Hydroxychloroquine. Nancy Pelosi even claimed that her president was morbidly obese and should not be taking this risk, even though she has never considered him her president, and medically speaking, he is not morbidly obese. If you are going to shame someone, try to get your facts straight. In summary, Trump is showing actual medical science. I pointed out to a friend of mine that this was just the flu, and so he showed me the numbers from WHO and how the mortality rate was even worse than the flu. I pointed out that those numbers could not be trusted since WHO only parroted what China said rather than doing an independent investigation. Either way, President Trump has given WHO an ultimatum. Initiate immediate reforms or the United States will leave the agency and take its funding with it. We pay about 73% of their budget voluntarily, according to NPR.
Just follow the money.
Joe Biden bragged about getting a lawyer investigating his son fired so that Ukraine could get aid. That is a fact. President Trump ordered this to be investigated. That is a fact. This started a phony impeachment scam. That is a fact. Now Biden is subject to subpoenas, and there will likely be a full-scale investigation. That is a fact. Michael Flynn is not the only one that Obama had a hand in destroying. I will not bother you with all of the details of Obamagate here. However, there are a few things to keep in mind. 2 Senate committees claim that the spying on the Trump campaign by the DOJ started a lot earlier than was admitted. All of this is getting fresh scrutiny on the heels of Michael Flynn. Everything is unraveling. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion.